We're working to connect a region of over 600 million bridges between our lands.
Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. I'm Judith Limera delivering to you the latest news in and around the ASEAN region on today's headlines. The Philippines is looking at the possibility of chartering 2 cruise ships to help in the possible repatriation of the overseas Filipino workers in the Middle East, as tensions continue to escalate between the United States and Iran. The CNBC reports that Singapore Airlines said Wednesday it was diverting all flight routes from Iranian airspace. And Iglesia ni Cristo's Kabayan Ko Kapatid Ko relaunches in Thailand. The Philippines is looking at the possibility of chartering 2 cruise ships to help in the possible repatriation of overseas Filipino workers in the Middle East, as tensions continue to escalate between the United States and Iran. The Department of National Defense, or DND, Secretary Delphine Lorenzana said that this option is now being looked into on the likelihood that many Filipino workers in the region might opt to go home. Another option being looked into is having these Filipinos evacuated in a peaceful area like Saudi Arabia or Oman, and they will be eventually brought home from there. On Wednesday, the Philippine government raised the crisis alert level 4 in Iraq, which means a mandatory evacuation. This comes after the Pentagon confirmed that Iran has launched more than a dozen ballistic missiles against U.S. military and coalition forces in Iraq. Since the mandatory evacuation was raised by the Philippines, Filipinos who will be leaving Iraq will undergo the normal procedure of getting their exit papers. This according to the Philippine Embassy in Baghdad. Tensions started to heat up between Washington and Tehran after top Iranian General Qasem Soleimani was killed in a U.S. drone strike in Baghdad, Iraq on January 3rd. Meanwhile, the CNBC reports that Singapore Airlines said Wednesday it was diverting all flight routes from Iranian airspace. The announcement came after Iran launched more than a dozen ballistic missiles against multiple bases housing U.S. troops in Iraq. And I quote, "In view of the latest developments in the region, all SIA flights in and out of Europe are diverted from the Iranian airspace," the airline said in a statement to CNBC. "We are monitoring the situation closely and will make the appropriate adjustments to our routes if necessary," unquote. Tehran's attack follows the U.S. killing of Iran's top general, Qasem Soleimani, last Friday. Tensions in the Middle East arose following his death, with Iran vowing revenge. Meanwhile, the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration issued notices on Tuesday night outlining flight restrictions that prohibit U.S. civil aviation operators from operating in the airspace over Iraq, Iran, and the waters of the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. The FAA will continue closely monitoring events in the Middle East, it said in a statement. And I quote, "We continue coordinating with our national security partners and sharing information with U.S. air carriers and foreign civil aviation authorities," unquote. In other news, President Rodrigo Duterte expressed concern over the safety of millions of Filipinos in the Middle East as he asked Congress to hold a special session to tackle the increasing tension between the United States and Iran.
There is an evolving crisis somewhere. We do not know what would be the end result of this crisis. It could lead to a protracted war. it could be a wide-scale strife, but whatever it is, we Filipinos are really in grave peril.
In a speech, President Duterte said he is expecting Iran to retaliate soon and act aggressively against the U.S. after an American airstrike killed their top general. He also appealed to Congress to set aside a day or two to discuss the effects of the U.S.-Iran conflict, which he called an evolving crisis. The president also raised the possibility of creating an oversight committee to ensure the funds on standby will not be used for corruption.
We have so many millions, nearing 3, I think, of Filipinos working mainly in the Middle East. Kinakabahan ako. Iran seems to be bent on a retaliation, which I think will come. It's a matter of time. There is much hurt and even the loss of pride of the Arabic world. And retaliation or the cry for blood is there. As is, we had the money. If it spells the difference between the life and death of Filipinos, Sunny Dominguez says, we have the money. We will buy, borrow, steal. Nakawa natin yung Central Bank mismo natin. Well, if we have to do it, we will do it. But since you are all here, my dear colleagues in government, I was once a congressman. I don't know where you want to put the money. Ako, ayaw ko. But if there's a thing that we would need on standby, that that the government can get immediately, source it from where, so that we can use the money immediately. Ang problema is there is 2 countries that are really, which is the apple of the pie, the Iranians. It's the Israel and Saudi Arabia. Kung yan ang mangyari, then we have trouble because most of our OFW are stationed. Majority of them are in Saudi Arabia.
A strong earthquake jolted Indonesia's northwest on Tuesday, but no tsunami warning was issued and there were no immediate reports of injuries or damage. The 6.2 magnitude quake struck at a depth of 20 kilometers, just off the coast of Simulu Island, west of Sumatra. This according to the U.S. Geological Survey. Indonesia's Weather and Geophysics Bureau said that there was no tsunami threat. People panicked and ran outside their homes when the quake hit. No casualties or infrastructure damage have been reported so far. Indonesia suffers a frequent seismic and volcanic activity due to its position on the Pacific Ring of Fire, where tectonic plates collide.
Philippines, Manila or Quezon City is a popular destination. But oftentimes the hustle and bustle of the city can be more stressful on your vacation. So when you feel the need to reconnect to nature or relax again, there's a beautiful oasis just outside of the city called the Garden at Ciudad de Victoria. Some of the species that you can see here include hydrangea, snapdragon, and stargazers. They're truly beautiful. The gardens at Ciudad de Victoria are so peaceful, tranquil, and beautiful that it's become a haven for young couples and a very popular venue for engagement photos. The next time you want an escape from the big city, the garden at Ciudad de Victoria is a wonderful place to visit.
Welcome back. 8 Vietnamese died Tuesday after a fire swept through cabins, housing migrant workers at a greenhouse facility outside Moscow. Russia's emergencies ministry said. The fire at the facility in the Ramensky district southeast of Moscow broke out in the early hours, the ministry said in a statement. According to preliminary information, the fire was caused by an electrical fault. It wasn't clear how many workers were living in the complex. Russian news agencies had earlier identified the workers as from ex-Soviet Tajikistan. Millions of migrant workers from Central Asia live in Russia, where they often perform menial jobs for low pay under lax safety conditions. Migrant workers also travel to Russia from other parts of Asia, including some of 14,700 Vietnamese who received work permits in 2018. This according to Russia's State Statistics Service. Meanwhile, Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte has threatened a government takeover of the capital's water services unless its 2 private utilities accept a new contract. His spokesman said Tuesday an ultimatum experts warned could spook investors. President Duterte's government will offer a deal to replace the one first crafted in the 1990s, when Manila's troubled water system was privatized in which the president calls a colossal rip-off. His spokesman Salvador Panelo said,
should Maynilad and Manila Water refuse to accept the new agreements, the president will order the cancellation of their present water contracts, order the nationalization of water services in their respective areas of operation.
No text has been made public and neither firm immediately provided comment on the proposal. The companies, which serve some 16 million customers, have drawn the president's ire since they won a roughly $145 million arbitration ruling against the government last month over rejected rate increases. Duterte has claimed the water firms were committing economic sabotage with terms they obtained in their 1997 franchises, including recouping corporate income tax costs from ratepayers. In other news, the Prime Minister Nguyen Xuan Phuc chaired a ceremony in Hanoi on Monday to launch Vietnam's 2020 ASEAN chairmanship. Speaking at the event, Prime Minister Phuc said throughout its 25 years of ASEAN membership, Vietnam has always made responsible contributions to ASEAN cooperation. In 2020, Vietnam assumes major responsibilities at the regional and international levels, including the ASEAN chairmanship. Such responsibility gives Vietnam an opportunity to contribute more to the building and growth of the ASEAN community. Previously a region of strife and differences, ASEAN has become a united group of independent countries enjoying great progress and growth, where 650 million people call home. The grouping is the third most dynamic economy in the world, boasting total gross domestic product of $2.95 trillion in 2018. ASEAN has signed 6 free trade agreements with 7 top partners in the world, reinforcing its centrality in the regional architecture. These achievements have earned ASEAN the recognition of major powers and partners globally. As the ASEAN 2020 chair, Vietnam will build on the achievements and efforts of previous ASEAN chairs and work with fellow members to identify the future directions for the ASEAN community until 2025 and beyond, he said. The Vietnamese government leader said peace, stability, solidarity, unity, prosperity, and sustainability will remain the purpose, identity, and overarching goal of the ASEAN community. These values paved the way for the ASEAN to forge a new image, standing new role in the spirit of making responsible contributions to dialogue and cooperation at the global level.
Events happen around us all the time, in our community, in our country, around the world. Events that affect people, move communities, or simply inspire us. Interesting events that people need to know. In these interesting times, we continue to be a competent partner in delivering news about these events. Fast, accurate, balanced, eagle news, because we live in interesting times.
What's up, everybody? Just like snow in Las Vegas being a rare thing, so are opportunities in life. So whenever they come around, seize the moment. Tune into Digital Nest on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. only on Net 25. I'm Ahmed Santos, your EBC correspondent, always one with 25. Peace!
Hello Digital Nesters, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to watch our future features.
Landmarks, Linggo, alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi.
Watch your favorite Net25 shows on OSN Channel 725, same day as the Philippines.
Net25 is now available on OSN, the largest entertainment network in the Middle East and North Africa.
Watch your favorite Net25 shows live
and on demand anytime, anywhere on
any mobile device on OSN Play.
Welcome back. Let's head on now to Thailand for the relaunching of the Kabayan Ko Kapatid Ko. Here's Fatima Barte.
We are here today in Anuracha Prasit School, Nonthaburi, Thailand, to witness the members of religious organization Iglesia ni Cristo or Church of Christ as they join its worldwide event Kabayan Ko, Kapatid Ko, or My Countrymen, My Brethren. Gathered here today are members from Metro Bangkok area together with their guests, relatives, and friends.
Warm smiles welcomed the guests as they entered the place. The event started with a video presentation of Kabayan Ko, Kapatid Ko, which was conducted worldwide voluntarily whenever calamities struck areas where immediate help is needed. The attendees watched eagerly that opened their curiosity about the Iglesia ni Cristo and its socio-civic activities. It was followed by the preaching of holy words led by a minister of the gospel, Brother Willen Regalado. For most OFWs, Sunday is all about relaxation after a week of daily grind. That's why the event was followed by entertainment and distribution of refreshments all for free. The crowd can't help but sing along with the performers. A heart-stopping yet full of comedy acrobatic show by the Velasco siblings filled the venue with laughter and fun. Truly an entertainment for all ages.
Na-experience ko po na makapunta sa ganitong event. So nagpapasalamat rin po ako sa teacher ko na nag-invite sa akin yung Iglesia ni Cristo teachings on pakinggan ko po ng maayos.
This is my first time to attend this kind of event. We just want to thank Teacher Vicky for inviting us here. Actually, it's only my 3 months here in Thailand and I am overwhelmed to be part of this event. Thank you.
Ako po si M. So, si Tita Vicky po yung nag-invite sa akin. So, thank you very much po sa INC for inviting us. Hindi po to yung first time ko pero lagi akong pag na-invite ako ni Tita sumasama ko kasi masaya po.
Ang distrito ng Thailand ay kaisa na pamamahala sa loob ng iglesia sa ganitong mga pambuong mundong aktibidad. Ang relaunching ng Kabayan Ko, Kapatid Ko. Halos lahat ng mga kapatid sa distritong ito ay dumalo, nakipagkaisa. Kahit sa maikling sandali ay mapasaya natin sila, mapangiti sila. At nagpapasalamat tayo sa pamamahala sa loob ng iglesia sa paglulunsad ng ganitong mga aktibidad. Pangako natin sa buong distrito, sa pangunguna ng ating tagapangasiwa na distrito, kapatid na Willen Regalado, at ng mga ministro, mga may tungkulin, lahat ng mga kapatid. Kaisa tayo sa pagsisimula na taong ito sa pinaigting palalo na gawaing pagpapalaganap ng mga salita ng Diyos.
With the aim of extending help to their countrymen wherever they are in the world, the church administration continues to launch this kind of activity. Members didn't mind traveling and actively participated in welcoming the guests with smiles. Reporting from Nonthaburi, Thailand, this is Fatima Barte and I am 1 with 25.
That is the latest news in the Southeast Asian nations. Stay updated about the ASEAN region. I'm Judith Demera and I'm 1 with 25.